Hi y'all, Kraken Latte here. It's that time again where I bring you my tips, facts, or experience that you may or may not find helpful. Midnight Prepatch has been announced for January 20th, and that's not very far away. While prepatches are certainly exciting with bringing in new features and new content, these events also bring with them a plethora of changes to set up the game and give you time to adjust before the official launch of an expansion. Midnight's prepatch is certainly something you should take note of to make sure you can weather the storm that may happen, depending on how you play. So, these are 5 things I'm bringing to your attention so that you can batten down the hatches, because this one may be a bumpy ride. Topic number 1. Blizzard's philosophy change on add-ons. You've likely heard around the water cooler that add-ons are under fire and the world is coming to an end. And while that is certainly an exaggeration, it's not entirely without merit. Over the past several months, Blizzard has shifted focus onto add-ons and how they are allowed to interact with the game. While they have explicitly stated they want to only focus on restricting add-ons that aid in combat, especially for competitive content, this, like with anything, has a trickle-down effect. Prime examples here would be the add-ons Weak Auras and Ilvl UI. Both of these are vastly diverse in their use and are not only used for combat, but will both be heavily affected due to combat reading API changes and restrictions. Because of these restrictions coming, my point here is there may be a lot of add-ons that you use that will be affected, or may break entirely due to what they rely on to function. So, what can you do about it? My recommendation is to do some add-on culling, files cleanup, and make some clean backups. These can help lower the number of issues you'll have after the change goes live, as well as keeping your profiles on hand to either copy over or replicate depending on what happens. Better to be safe than sorry. So first, take a moment to go through your add-ons list and cull some perhaps you don't use anymore or don't really need. Taking a look at what the base UI can do on the PTR or beta can help as well, as some of the base features may replace your add-ons just fine. An example from me would be the buffs and debuffs bars. I don't use an add-on for these anymore. Then, when that's done, I suggest going over to your World of Warcraft folder on your PC, open up the folder named Retail, and clean up the files there, primarily under the Interface and WTF folders. Oftentimes, when add-ons or characters are deleted, some of their files remain, mucking up your folders. In the WTF folder specifically, you'll find your WoW accounts, the realms your characters are on, and a folder called Saved Variables. Here, go through the realm folders and delete characters that no longer exist, or you can even delete an entire realm folder if you no longer play on that realm. Saved Variables contains add-on profiles related to the characters on this account, so just like you did in the Interface folder, scroll through this and delete add-ons that should not be there. Once that's all done, it's time to back up your now clean folders. Make a copy of your Interface and WTF folders and save them to a zip somewhere on your PC. Doing this can be a lifesaver if something goes awry after patch day and add-ons self-delete or catch on fire or... yeah. You may chuckle at me for doing this, but it saved my butt more times than I can count with past prepatches. Topic number 2. Major class pruning and changes. Something always kicking around every other patch are class changes. Nerfs, buffs, removals, additions, that's normal. However, Blizzard has changed their intent on how classes should play going forward, and a major simplification of each class and spec is going to take place. This means there is a major pruning of abilities going to happen. So major, in fact, that even the auto attack for most classes has been buffed. That's a bit crazy. Going over the list I'll link in the description, a huge amount of abilities that were added from Mists of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor, Legion, Battle for Azeroth, and even Shadowlands are being significantly changed, replaced with something somewhat similar, or just going away entirely. The core identity of many of these classes will be completely different than what you're used to, so to help ease the sting of loss and change, here's 2 things I recommend you do. First, hop onto the classes that you enjoy playing or play the most and take note of what you like about them. Screenshot abilities, take note of your talent builds, make copies of your macros into a personal Discord or something, etc. Then, hop onto the beta or midnight PTR and copy over those same characters and try them out. Compare the changes and give them a good feel. This can help you understand what you may like and dislike after these changes go live, and help you plan in advance what to main, use for raiding, use for farming, etc. That way you can hit the ground running after Prepatch goes live and not be bogged down for days trying to get things together. And do keep in mind, Blizzard loves last minute and days after the fact changes. So don't take their current state as gospel, this is just to help us get a firmer understanding of what's up. Now for a quick moment to thank our sponsors. You! That's right, you lovely viewers are why I can keep bringing you content. Tuning in and subbing to my streams on Twitch and YouTube, watching my guides and Let's Plays here, and following my clips and shorts on TikTok and YouTube, and even supporting me through my merch shop. That's right, merch is finally back, and this time I hope it'll be much higher quality. I'm doing all the artwork myself, and more will be added to the shop over time. That's right, hand-drawn artwork, by me. So if you don't see something you like now, check back later and you might find something neat. Anyway, enough of that, back to the video. Topic number 3, huge item level and stat squish. Every few expansions, Blizzard likes to do stat and item level squishes, so this isn't anything new. However, I'm bringing this one to light for all those collectors, housing mains, and legacy players out there, like myself. This particular squish is a huge one, and may greatly impact your ability to do older content, especially on alts. Coupled with the deep cut to class changes, this could make legacy farming in the more recent expansions, such as Battle for Azeroth or Shadowlands, a bit more painful. And to note, Dragonflight will become legacy within Midnight as well, so that one will be the most affected by this. Having been playing for well over a decade myself, I've found legacy content just doesn't get much help to scale properly during times like these, and we can end up waiting years to do something we were already doing before the squish happened. And yes, this is just the stat squish. This isn't even talking about the level squish coming with Last Titan. That one will do even more damage to legacy content. So, what can you do about it? I recommend making a priority list of the things you want most from older raids and dungeons, specifically the more recent ones like BFA and Shadowlands, and get those done before Prepatch hits, especially raids, since those are often hit harder due to their nature being intended for larger groups, so focus on raids first. And with Legion Remix still here, you can get alts up fast to help farm things if you need more chances. Add-ons like All the Things, Homebound, Handy Notes, and so on are some examples that can help you identify more clearly things you might be missing. So get out there and get your loot while the going is good. Topic number 4, level your 1 to 70s now. Speaking of making alts, the leveling process of going from 1 to 70, in my opinion, is the best we've ever seen. And that's ignoring leveling in Remix right now, since that is strictly for new characters. Something that you may not know is that the leveling data, such as required experience between levels, scaling of mobs, nerfs and buffs to tertiary things like gathering or exploration, and so on, it changes every expansion. It's not something talked about much since it's such a niche thing, but since I take making my leveling guides very seriously, it is something I monitor closely. And of course, Midnight is no different. The 70 to 80 bracket will be tacked on to the low level experience, and much of it will be shifted around again, for better or for worse. I've personally found the new adjustments on beta not quite to my liking, so I wanted to bring to your attention that now is a good time to get some pre-existing alts you have laying around up to 70 before these changes come in. And as an extra note, unless something changes, I didn't personally find the Prepatch event to be that great for leveling when it was tested on PTR, so getting your leveling done now can save you some time and let you focus on just the new event goodies when it's here. Topic number 5, new Mog and outfit system. The last thing I want to bring up here is that there is a large change coming to the transmogging UI. First, unless something changes, it seems the Mog you're currently wearing right now may be undone once Prepatch brings the new system in and force you to remog what you had. Of course, that's a bit annoying, considering it means you'll have to pay up the gold again for each character this happens to. It was strangely inconsistent between alts here, not all of them had to remog, so hopefully it's just a PTR thing. Luckily, the cost of mogging a new set seems to have come down by a lot, previously being several thousand gold to now being between 1,300 and 2,000 gold, which is more like what we have now on live. It does seem you get the first 2 outfit slots for free, and you can buy up to 50 outfit slots, which is just insane. So that's pretty nice, and those are unlocked account-wide after doing so, which is good because the cost for each additional slot rises to totaling over 2 million gold if you want to collect them all. Wow. But, even more importantly, they have added a custom sets tab that is separate from the outfits list. This is very important because this is the tab where you'll find the sets you already have made before the changes went live, and you can make these sets for free and save them here so you don't have to spend the gold every time you want to save a new set idea. Obviously, if you want to apply that set and mog it, it will cost gold, but still, you don't have to use the outfit section to do this. Thank you for listening to that feedback, Blizzard. This was a huge concern of mine when this feature first showed up on Alpha, because originally everything was tied to the outfits, and there was no way to save sets ideas without using the outfit slots. And that's crucial because every time you saved a set to the outfit slots, it costs gold. Ouch. So, there's a lot of functionality here on this new Mog UI that I don't yet have experience in, so this isn't a guide on how this works. But I do recommend you take screenshots of all your custom sets that you currently have and like, just in case they don't transfer over correctly to the new Mogging UI. Better safe than sorry. Did you know I live stream to both Twitch and YouTube? I'm live most of the week to chat with, so come hang out! And there we have it. If you think I've missed information or you want to request I do a specific guide, let me know in the comments below. Even if I don't answer you, I just might add your idea to my list. As always, thank you so much for watching, and remember, it's never too latte.